Hello, I'm going to talk about the course project. PDF of the assignment is up on Canvas now if you'd like to go have a look at this document yourself. The assignment is to write your own final exam review guide. And I'm just going to take a minute to go over the details here. So the first thing you're going to need is something to organize the project. Since the setting is mainly virtual this semester, I recommend that you use Google Doc, or you can just save the files in your Google Drive. And then you can just submit a link to those in Canvas, and I can check them that way. So how does the assignment work? Well, the first thing that you need to do is go to the course objectives, and you're going to find all of the course objectives that correspond to the test that we just took. And then you're going to summarize any important concepts in a very brief, short way and come up with example problems that you predict might be on the final and solve those problems. So let's just look for a minute how the grading works. So each of the project's checks are intended to be drafts. So it's okay if there's little mistakes or something wrong. But you need to make sure that you have all of the topics that were on the test in that portion of the project. And you need to put some effort in. Every day that it's late, I'm going to take off a point, and I'll also take off a point if you miss some major topics. So let's go have a look at the course descriptions, and I'll do some examples about what a typical project would look like. Here I am at the course outline and competencies for Math 172. So this is a list of all of the things that you need to master in order to pass this class. So there's a lot of things here. And the assignment is, after you take a test, or even in preparation for the test, you need to go through and look for all of the topics in the outline and competencies list that are going to be on the test that you're about to take, or maybe were on the test that you just took. And then for each of these topics, you need to write any important concepts, in a very short, condensed form, and come up with an example problem and work that one out. As a study guide for the final exam, so that when you get there to that test at the end of the semester, you have something that's short and simple to use as a guide for everything that could possibly be on the final exam. I'm going to do an example. You need to make sure that all of the topics that are going to show up on that test are in your project. But I'm just going to choose one here to do as an example to kind of show you what this should look like. So I'm just going to choose competency 1A and summarize any important concepts and make up an example problem about it. Here's an example of how a project could look for topic 1A. So the competency is to determine all 6 trigonometric functions of an angle in standard position. So in my mind, the important concepts about this are the definitions of the trig functions in standard position. So I put those here, and I put the little picture that goes with it. So there, I've done that, summarized any important concepts. And then I came up with an example problem. So we have a angle in standard position, and it passes through the point 3,4. And then I just did a little Pythagorean theorem and worked out all 6 trig functions that correspond to that angle. So that's it. When you have a test coming up or just after a test, go look at the list of competencies and find the ones that correspond to that test. And then do what I've done here. Summarize any important concepts and come up with a simple example problem. The idea behind this project is for you to create a document that you think will be useful when it comes time to study for the final exam, because I found that it's really helpful. A lot of times the students that are successful on the final exam are the students that have been preparing for the final exam the whole semester. So let's not leave our final exam preparation till the 14th week or the 15th week when the final is just right around the corner. Throughout the whole semester, let's just take a bunch of little steps so that when the final comes, we really have something that's very concise and very personal and very direct and to the point that can help us get ready for the final. And I'll give you points for doing it. So I'm happy to talk about this. If you have questions, Professor Siebert, is this topic on this test, or can you explain the meaning of these topics? I don't understand these buzzwords or what it is that they're talking about. Just shoot me an email and I'll do my best to get right back with you and try to answer your questions. So good luck on this, and hopefully when the final comes around, you'll be able to find the portfolio that you create useful in your preparation.